Unless you've been living under a rock for the past 3 years, you've probably heard of the trading brokerage platform called Robinhood. Now, more commonly known for the stock and its recent success, but obviously it's known for the home of Wall Street Bet's biggest winners and losers who like to go and spend all of their money. But what it really is, at a surface level, is a place for retail investors like me and you to hop on the stock trading platforms and buy securities, stocks, or even cryptocurrencies and to hopefully win big. And at the tip of the iceberg, it may seem like it's a very easy process and a low barrier to entry in order to get into trading options and stocks and things like that. But I divulge, and I actually want to dive into how, on the surface, it may seem like Robinhood's a really good business for your average everyday investor lacking information. But I actually want to talk about how 56% of their profits are coming from exploiting people like me and you, your everyday Joe, who are just hopping on and trading stocks at a whim from a message we saw on Reddit on Wall Street Bets. And that's where we're losing a lot of our money. And we're going to talk about something called payment for order flow. And so as we dive into the video right now, I'm just going to give some definitions in order to make sure that you kind of know what I'm saying and we can get to the end point, just to make sure there's no separation in communication. So first, we need to talk about what market makers are, also called dealers, but more commonly called market makers. These are like your third-party entities that will connect a buyer and a seller for a specific stock. They have something called a bid price and an asking price. So the asking price is how much someone like me or you is trying to buy a stock for, and then a bid price is how much someone else, a company or someone who owns the stock, is trying to sell it for. Essentially, how these market makers make a profit is what they do is the difference between the ask and the bid is referred to as the spread. And that could be, a few cents, but due to the sheer volume and output of these different platforms, like especially Robinhood, then they bring in billions of dollars every single year just because of these different cent differences every single transaction that happens. And so normally these market makers have a very low spread when it comes to people at, Charles Schwab or things like that, where investors are pretty smart and they have a good amount of information. So that spread is a lot less. Therefore, these companies don't make a lot of money because there isn't that big gap between the knowledge and information on one side compared to the other. But what Robinhood has been doing recently is they have started this different money-making method called payment for order flow. And essentially, market makers pay retail brokerages like Robinhood to execute their trades. So essentially what this is saying is that if they can guarantee that the investors who are using this retail brokerage are lacking information in any quality, then these market makers will jump and pounce on this opportunity in order to take up these trades from these retail investors because they know it's going to be more profitable for them because they are less informed. So you can pay a brokerage 1 cent per trade to execute their orders. And for example, if you buy a stock for $149.98 and you sell at the asking price of $150.02, then you just pay a total of 2 cents to the broker and profit $2. So Robinhood has been doing this most recently, and it has honestly been pretty shady on their side while they are kind of outsourcing these different buyers on the retail investor side, and that's where they're raking in a ton of their profits. So let me know your thoughts on this. Is Robinhood in the right to do this? Or are they taking advantage of different investors who don't know a lot? Is that just the name of the game with joining the stock market? So let me know your thoughts down below and what you think. So anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.